It says we're live, quicker than at home.
Yay.
Is everybody out there? Let's see. Let me pull up my Facebook account. Hello, good people.
I'm there
How many
again where
people?
I'm like, why did I
Huh?
not? I'm there again where I'm like, why didn't I pull this up earlier?
Oh, we're here. Yep.
Yeah.
Turn this down. Might be a little bit delayed, but I can see shit. Latest stuff's in my Jaeger
Um,
bottle. Good morning, people, or good afternoon for any people back that's here over here with me in Croatia. Croatia. I'm right outside of, but not right outside. My window is right outside of the Adriatic Sea. I'm still dealing with 9 hours warp time of living here in Croatia for a week and working. I've done one SOP session. Hope to do a couple more before I leave. Yay, John.
John's
Uh,
SOPs are magic.
yeah, I'm trying to work the magic, work the magic, work the magic. You know, and I'm gonna show you guys some stuff. Let's see, I'll move this here so see if you guys ask me questions. I've been drinking a little bit, and can you hear this, you guys? It's Jaeger. I'm gonna probably have some because it's not 7 o'clock or an AM. It's three. It's happy hour. Happy
It's
hours. I should say. It's been a couple of happy hours since I've been here. Uh,
that's hilarious.
yeah. So what we gonna
All
talk
right.
about?
We're talking about choice, which I'm
Yeah,
really excited about. Yeah.
yeah. Choice
Um,
is something.
go
Choice is
ahead.
weird.
Okay, say
Choice is
more.
really, huh?
Say more.
We got. Let's see. Why is it weird? Uh, because choice is liberating, and it's scary as fuck at times. At the same time,
Mm, mm-hmm.
you know, I can only talk about recently the choice that I made to come to Croatia this week, be in a maestro class, which is a bunch of SOP classes to change the world. And I guess I'll say this to people. And uh, my wife urged me not to stay home, but to come out and go to work. And while I'm here, she had some complications. So it's like you make a choice and you're stepping out. And see what happens is I made a choice a long time ago to change the world with consciousness, with being me, with trying to make this ball, this third rock from the sun, a little bit more. Hey, Connie, what's up, sister? A
Hey,
little bit better
Connie.
than what it looked like before I got here, and
Right.
I'm doing it. Uh, in the process, it feels like I've been having some stumbling blocks along the way,
Mm,
but the choice to make this, I have to say that it's not as it's not for naught or whatever the thing I'm trying to say, guys. I'm like the time zone having a little play on my brain about right now. Plus, this is day 4 of Maestro class, which is SOP, and we've been on some crazy ass shifting for the planet. Uh, and I haven't drank my Jaeger yet, so I might twist the top pretty soon. Uh, but getting back to the whole concept of why we talk about choice, uh, so many people don't want to choose. What's up, Sarah? How you doing, sister? Sarah Marks, how you doing? Uh, I can't
so
see what
many people
people.
don't want to choose.
Oh, there we go. Sarah Marks, wait, Sarah Shirley White. What's up? They don't want to choose uh, because well, here's the piece about it. They do choose. They don't always make the best choice for themselves. A no choice is still a choice.
Mm, that's deep.
Some people just waiting for shit to happen. Other people
That used to
are
be my
piecing
favorite
things
way to
together.
choose.
Yeah. What's up, Cindy? So in Maestro class, right, while we're here in Croatia, uh, we're talking about that, about the choice, about sometimes you're choosing, you start choosing, and you so fucking weird. the other people can't keep up.
Mm,
And what a lot of times happens is that you go back to trying to be like everybody else. Like for me to be here right now is crazy as fuck to me. But
okay.
and the reason I say that is I was running through my head the right thing to do was to do what everybody else would do. And when things start to be questionable, then you start asking, did you make the right choice? But
Mm.
is there such thing as a right choice?
So there's a quote, coaching world. If I quote the wrong person, then correct me. I'm available for that. I
Uh-huh.
heard it from Susan Hyatt. I don't know if it's a Susan. No, not Susan Hyatt. Brooke Castillo. I don't know if it's a Brooke Castillo original or if she was quoting someone else. But she said, make the choice and then make the choice right.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
know. Me too.
yeah,
My brain cells did that too.
yeah. Make the choice. And here's the piece about it. What if you make a choice without any wrongness? Just choice, and then you can change it every 10 seconds. See, a lot of times, uh, what's up, player? Hey, what's up, sister? Uh, uh, I am actually being bombarded by so much information in this maestro class that, and I asked myself, what did my wife know by urging me to go here? She knew she was the one who was laying in bed and got on the computer and ordered the ticket saying, no, you need to do this. This is what you supposed to be doing. And I don't like that supposed
I
to.
love
I
Tori.
was like, you're trying to kick me out the house. But what does she know about
I
urging
love
me to
it.
choose something different? Because I had already started this path and my if I my brother always told me he's like, uh, you crazy, Johnny. He's like, you always doing things like there, over there. And so this is not abnormal for me right now, actually, because this is who I be and this is what I usually choose from. But the question is like, there's parts of me that want to fit in with everybody else about, oh, as a husband, you should have been doing this. And
Well, I mean, okay, so that, what an interesting point of view. That becomes, how do I put this? That just shows the flaws in our system, the
yeah,
kinks in this reality. Because your wife is taken care of. You didn't like leave her alone.
yeah,
She has soul family with her.
yeah, yeah,
So she's at the hospital and you're not physically present and able to be there, but like it's not as if the 6,000 miles really
yeah,
truly makes a difference. It's not like she's at the hospital going, I wish you were here.
right, right,
You like, yeah, I see. The only flaw I see there is the fact that people expect you to be all of it instead of like, well, actually, we have a fucking tribe and my wife is taken care
yeah, yeah,
of.
yeah, true.
I'm
Connie
reading
wrote,
Connie's comment.
yeah, I was gonna read this. She says, I'll be like, I'm choosing it, and then it goes all wonky, and then I choose again, and then I choose again. It's interesting how what feels light or heavy is not particularly a right or wrong choice, and also there are choices that could go further for me. Yeah, but as long as you're willing to be in the choice, that's what creates something different, something new.
I think it also just circles back to that, like, make the choice and then make the choice right.
Yeah,
Like,
I like that.
if it's not something that you literally can change in this 10 seconds,
Yeah,
then get right with the choice that you made. Don't villainize yourself for the choice that you made. You made a
right,
choice. You
right,
get to choose again in the future.
right,
Oh,
right.
hey, Katie.
Yeah, love you too, Katie. Uh, yeah, and I mean, and so here's the piece about it too. We're having in the past, haven't you chosen it? You just sat there. I mean, that's
Oh, John. So I am the poster child for this being a beautiful like way to live. Like so bad. I feel like I came here with some sort of programming, but like it's always like, oh, I didn't choose that. And then it comes back
Hmm.
and it's better than it was the first time. And I'm
Yeah,
like it's usually when I'm shopping and I don't buy
yeah,
the thing. And then the next time the thing is on sale or there's a coupon or somebody like bought it for me or gave it to like whatever.
yeah.
Um, there are times where the waiting doesn't work.
Say more.
Um, like there are times, okay, so this is two parts. This is like two things
Kind of
together.
making jokes,
They
by the way. Go ahead.
um so this is complex, but I'm gonna let it come out of my mouth. And then if I need to like erase some of the lines and smooth it out, we'll do that. So my my dining set. Um, I had a dining set in mind. I had the money in the bank for
Yeah,
the dining
yeah.
set.
Tell me about this.
Um, I really just needed to get transportation to get the dining set to me, like from the store to my house.
Yeah.
But I was also fighting with my then ex about the dining set that we had. I put so much energy into fighting about that dining set that the universe rearranged itself so that I could get one exactly fucking like it. So instead of being like, okay, he's taking the dining set, which I also didn't choose until the day of. Like until the day that I bought this dining set, I was still like,
Uh-huh.
you're not taking my fucking table. Fuck you.
That's funny.
But then when I woke up at 8 o'clock that morning and was like, you know what? Um, like this just ends up being the last Twilight movie where I worked it all out in my head and now I don't need to enact it in physical reality and I'm gonna go on with my
Right.
life instead of being a petty bitch. Which was lots of fun, I just want to say. Um, but I woke up that morning, made that decision, and then went to like put all the pieces in place to like get my dining set, and it was sold out. Like it said that there were three in the store, but it wouldn't let me order
Uh,
one. So I drove to the store because it said that there were three. And when I got there, they were like, yeah, no. So I ended up with one exactly like this one. Now, that wasn't exactly me waiting. That was like me making a bunch of choices and like
uh-huh.
this is how it all panned out. But yeah, I didn't get the dining set that I wanted.
But you got me.
I didn't get the dining set that my ego wanted. I got the dining set apparently that my soul wanted. I made a big ass deal about this dining set. Now I have it.
Yeah. And here's the piece about it. If you're willing to be in the energy of choice, other shit will show up. And this table might last. It might be built better. Usually, in this class, now, this is another saying. Dane said this class, but the universe or God usually doesn't give you too much that you can handle. Now, people hear that and be like, "What the fuck?" It's usually kind of true though. Even with the predicament I told you about being here with me, it's just like, okay, I've gone through worst case scenarios, and I would hate my worst case scenario, but would I is my living half full or half empty? I get this judge.
Mm,
It's
amen
all
to that.
perspective. It's all perspective.
Yeah.
Right now, the perspective is I haven't eaten much, guys, today because I have not eaten at all this morning because I've been waking up. I guess it's the time difference, so I'm eating
Hmm.
Trader Joe's pistachio in in Croatia because I brought all my snacks with me. Kind of fun.
I love it. Hey,
Hey, Kathy, how
Kathy.
you doing?
Connie, I want to
Uh,
hear more about you doing that with men. We need to talk. I want to know more about
what's
that.
that?
I just saw that
Wait,
comment. She said, "Ha
what you
ha
do?
ha ha ha." I do that with men. That's why I'm like, what? What are we doing? What did we
What
do?
do you do
Tell
with
me
men?
everything.
Please
Yeah.
enter information.
And if you don't want to tell all of Facebook, we will see you in our messenger group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I need to know, or
yeah.
call me.
So,
Okay. Oh, we
we resist.
resist. Mm,
Yeah, we
I
do
still need
resist
to know
sometimes. We
more.
resist, but in my Darth Vader's voice in Star Wars, resistance is futile.
It really is. And what you resist persists.
Yeah. So,
I'm
what
still
about?
learning that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and stop resisting. It's futile. I tell people. What else can you create with
Say
choice?
more.
So,
So instead of resisting, ask what else can I create here?
yeah,
I love it.
like a lot of times people won't ask a question like you get a dilemma. Like here it was, I got the call from Tori when she said she was going back to the doctor. And so frequently I'm like, well, I'm about to call Delta and go back home. And immediately before she hung up, she looked at me and did like one of these. I got people supporting me. Don't you bring your ass on the plane. You're there doing what you're supposed to be doing. And
I
being
love
me,
her.
I was going into like the I'm retarded. I know my son and daughter told me I was supposed to say that word. Sorry, people out there. I might get canceled for saying that. I don't give a fuck though. That's the other thing, Can I talk about something else?
Yeah, you can, but wait, first Connie said what I said about resisting and attracting the same choice. Girl, whole workshop. We should talk about it. We should host it together. Anyway, carry on.
So, uh, all right, now I'm curious about that. Hey Nancy, how you doing, sister?
Resisting and attracting the same choice.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was like with the table. Like I spent so much energy focused on the table that I ended up with the same fucking table instead of like what
Did
I
that
would have
table,
considered an upgrade. Hmm?
did that table really want to just come home with you already?
This
Did,
table told me it would make me money, and the other table told me it wouldn't. But my ego wanted the other table. My brain thought it wanted the other table.
always go with it. Well, yeah, but the table told you it's gonna make you money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's currently my desk, so it's working.
I'll do better than that. Hey, everything has a purpose if you allow it.
Yeah,
Even the
yeah.
things you don't think you have will have can actually see. The other thing that we've been we're like I said, this class that I'm at is right on the Adriatic Sea. Every morning we've been going out to the Adriatic Sea at break because
Mhm.
the event is right on the water and
Mm.
pulling the energy from the ocean and the sea. It's like the sea SOPing you. And what SOPing means for people on here that might not know access, let me give that. Some people are like, what the hell is SOPing? It's simply a possibility, which is the energy playing with energy. Okay. And we've been doing that pretty much every lunchtime or every break we go out there and the ocean's right there. And there's a contribution of, yeah, Nancy, the contribution of the sea just like stroking you in a good way.
Mm.
I don't want to say anything because it's early morning there, so people might be like, huh?
Well, I mean, like I said, okay, so for those of you who were not here before John and I got started, I am binge listening to Carolyn Elliott's Existential Kink for like the 900 millionth time this year. And one of the things in the book is about getting off on every stroke.
Wow. Get up
So, like,
on the downstroke.
for
Everybody get
those
up.
of wait, let's talk about this. Who is that? What lyric is that?
That's George Clinton.
George Clinton. Okay,
Call it
George.
Funkadelic. Yeah, yeah,
All right, George.
yeah.
So the philosophy is that everything that happens in life is a stroke, And for those of us with clitorises, I don't know about those of us with penises, but for those of us with clitorises, we have certain strokes that we prefer over others. Um,
Now you talking. Now the
and
conversation got real much more excited, at least much more orgasmic. Like, orgasmic life, Connie. Yes. Go ahead.
and she talks about getting off on every stroke, even the ones that we don't prefer. Existential Kink is a book, Kathy, by Carolyn Elliott. I can link it places
Yeah.
if you would like. Prince lyrics, orgasmic living. It's either
Yes. Yes.
rubbing you the right way or
All right. Whatever it takes.
it's
Get the
rubbing
party
you the
started,
right
y'all.
way or you need maybe a little bit more lube. I don't know.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I think this conversation is really taking a change. It's kind of interesting. It's went.
Well, you know, in that 10 seconds, the word stroke really
Vibrated
stroked
everything, huh?
me.
How's it get better than that? So here's the other piece too, and this is the thing about choice, like this conversation. And for anybody who's offended, don't come back. Uh, uh, so I can hear some people out there like, oh, whatever. Oh. This is
I
an adult conversation. It really is an adult conversation. So now I'm gonna go off
love
on some
it.
stuff. So, you know, one of the things about one of the positive things about being in this class this week is that these are free spirit individuals who think totally outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
And it that alone has so much gratitude for Tori ushering me to come to this class because it set me with a group of peeps like yourself that I'm like breaking bread with at night, hanging out with. But it's actually given me some insight
Mm-hmm.
of what it possibly could be when people aren't living in such with hangups, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and how caring people are. Like some of the people, this is the choice of going here gave me a little bit more in depth look for humanity because
Mm-hmm.
I can't count the times that people come up to me every hour checking on Tori, and some of them never met her. They ain't mentioned a class and sending contributions, and for me, that speaks words, unspoken words of people being like connected. And I
Yeah.
needed to see that. Right now, I needed to see some of that, and just that alone,
Yeah.
that magic. Yes, Kathy,
Yeah.
truly, people can be so caring, like yourself. Thank,
Yeah.
thank you, Jesus, Holy Spirit. Yes.
I love that. Um, and you're welcome, Kathy. Yes, it's on Audible. It's an easy 6 hour read.
Huh.
Um, but yeah, I'm really grateful that you get to have that experience and that you get to see that. And it goes like for me, it goes back to that community, that communion, that village tribe piece.
Uh-huh.
Um, because like y'all aren't doing this alone. Y'all aren't in this alone.
Yeah.
So it might be uncomfortable and it might be real stretchy and expansive.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and
What happens is I'm living. I'm not. Tori and I are not even with even the conditional, which I hate the condition. We're not living a mediocre life.
right.
And I like when I the day that I got here, the first day I got here, I did a class because I got here Wednesday, and so I had a class. The next day, Thursday evening, I did a class with the gentleman from Savalti, and I did the
Mm-hmm.
class while I was here because I wanted them to tap into the energy of the possibilities of this expression of being different. I mean, I sit back and I was like, I've had an extraordinary life growing up in Chicago. going to seminary, living on the West Coast, doing classes overseas. This is my first time to Europe. Me and Andrew Markel did classes in Norway and in Amsterdam in the late '90s. Now I'm back gaining tools and connecting with people. But most of all, when I did that class with Savalti, I want the men to be able to see an example that if you choose something, if you're willing to make choices, you can do things that are outlandish. And I would say that I've always done that. And I have to say that I got I get great support. You know, my brother, my mom and dad raised me this way. And I was like, from the beginning of my beginning, I got really exceptional support on being me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and and I want to say that because sometimes, I'm also not harsh on people making choices that don't appear to be as expansive as they think they are. Because the smallest choice can become more expensive than you ever imagined, you know. And a lot of times people get caught into judgment. Yeah, greatness. Yeah, yeah. No mediocrity. Yeah, I mean, and I, I wish if I had a big ask, not a big ass, but a big ask, ASK. I want people to make sure they was like, what's that? Um, I wish people would live beyond all their fears.
Mm,
If I could actually be an example to erase fears so that you can live an extraordinary life. How many people won't go certain places because of a fear? They won't take a certain apparatus someplace because of a fear. How many people live out of fear instead of choice? And I say that because fear, and I'm gonna give this analogy. I've given this before to people. Fears, uh, son just hit me up on the message. Okay, so fears, there are these things called in the states called deers. And I know people have them out here too. I'm just gonna use a deer. A deer is a nice sized animal, and the deer could actually clear a 6 foot fence.
meaning
Uh,
jump over with Grady's.
yes, but yet when a 5 foot car comes down the road, it's the statement a deer in headlights, which it freezes and stops. How many of us get into our fear mode and we stop like a deer and the car fucking hits us and runs us over and we become roadkill? Choice
Yeah,
gives you the possibility to step around that so the vehicle won't run your ass over.
yeah, I love that
Just saying.
example.
And I mean, and if I could be any example for people of that, I beg people, if you get anything out of this from me, the reason that, first when I was like, am I gonna feel like doing this uh, with my sister today? And I was like, I looked at my phone and says, hey, you got a meeting with Lila in a couple. I was like, yeah, I'm a little tired, but I'm like, I'm doing this because if this can be an invitation of choice for something beyond whatever you imagine, I hope to God that it does, so that you stretch yourself, like you said, beyond the confinements of how you usually live.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's no right or wrong. If you don't do it, it's not wrong. Even if you
And
contemplate for a little bit.
I want to say that stretching and mediocrity and greatness are different for different people.
Say more.
Um, I can stretch when it comes to, oh, this one's brilliant. I moved from Memphis back to the town that I went to high school in and have basically lived in for 20 of the last 25 years,
Hmm.
with like no car and a finite amount of cash. And I thought that there was more cash coming. And three kiddos and no partner. And my mom had just died. And my Memphis family was like, so you're going where now? You're doing what now? And I can't tell you, as I was saying goodbye to my church, how many people told me how brave I was. I didn't feel brave. I didn't feel like I had. choice. I didn't, well, the choices that I had, that was the best one
Right.
from my point of view at the time. The hindsight view was like, I'd do that a little differently today, but we learn. Um, but like, so what for me was just a logical next step was for my whole church bravery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is brave. It is bravery if you step outside the norm. See, so many people are used to living a norm.
Mm, okay.
And what does it look like to step out the norm? And here's my
Our
pet peeve.
lives.
Here's the thing for me, and I challenge myself with this all the time. Being here was like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all who might watch this. I was in total resistance of this up until the Tory. I cried like a big baby getting out of the car, and but I still stepped out the car and went into the airport and got on the plane.
Yeah.
I said to myself, universe, God, creator, whatever, this is something that I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm trusting you. I'm doing it. And I lived most of my life like that. Like I mean, I've done even raising my kids. I sit back and sometimes I apologize to my kid because I was like, I was shooting from the hip a lot of times being a dad, and I was a single dad, but I had a single dad with two moms,
Yeah.
Cherie and Tori, and we did the
Yeah.
best that we could. But one of the things I think that we did do, we chose differently,
Hmm.
which created hopefully another outcome for them. And I, good morning, Greg. How you doing, my brother? Uh, and in the process of Sri, Tori, and I being different, we the outcome we and what we chose created a different experience for my kids. Now, did we fuck them up a little bit? Probably, but that's all right. Now I know you're looking like, what do you mean by that? But
I'm
sometimes you
like,
make
that
choices.
that's in the contract.
Yeah, yeah. They don't. The kids don't get it until they're adult. They don't realize that you will be fucked up by your parents, and it's all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
I think we
thank
should
you,
do
Sarah. You're welcome.
I think we should talk about mediocrity and greatness in the future. I think that would be a great conversation to continue.
I, you,
I need to turn into the pumpkin today.
okay, so we're gonna get off
I
here.
gotta go back
Yeah,
to
and
work.
we'll talk
Yeah.
about that later. It was a pleasure hanging out with you guys. We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Same bad
Yes.
channel, same bad time. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Those over here in Europe, have a good meal and good night.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Peace.